is a very easy guide on how to get the podcast into your iTunes. First, we're going to go to PodCast.Memphis.edu. PodCast.Memphis.edu. And that will bring you to Podcast Central. Next, we're going to log in. When you log in, you'll see the podcasts that are available to you. You will see some podcasts that don't apply to you because lecturers who have made their podcast available to all students will be listed. So, for example, you might not be enrolled in General Biology 1, but this faculty member has made his podcast available to all students. We're going to go down to find this course, BIOL 2010-001, Anatomy and Physiology. You have a couple of choices. You can go to the direct link and listen to it immediately online. You can choose the RSS XML, again, to read it with your RSS feed. You can choose HTML, which again basically takes you to this page, and you can listen to it live and online. Not live, but online. Or you can add it to iTunes. This is what we're going to do today. Now, as you can see with my iTunes, I have no podcasts listed currently. I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to add to iTunes. I'm using Internet Explorer 8. Now, when it asks you, do you want to view only the web page content that was delivered securely, at this point you want to say no. That goes against everything you've been taught, but in this instance it's okay to say no. Do you want to allow this website to open a program on your computer, and the program is iTunes, and you want to allow this website wants to open web content using this program on your computer, and it tells you we're going to use Apple, which of course makes iTunes, and we're going to allow. As you can see, it's created an icon for Anatomy and Physiology, and here you see the download beginning. As we finish the download, you can see that we have one episode. There's no more downloads. Let's click around for a second. Let's look at music. And we have no movies. Well, I have a couple movies. If we go back to podcast, again, we see the one listing. You click play.
I hit record.
Here. Now, to get the new podcast to come in for future episodes, you're going to need to right-click and update the podcast. The podcast will not magically come to you. You have to update the podcast. Now, go back over here. Be sure and log out once you have finished adding to iTunes any of the courses that you want to download the podcasts. Also be sure within iTunes that you go and update your podcasts. If you have several podcasts listed, which I don't, you should be able to click on Podcasts and choose Update All. If you have any questions, please be sure and visit me at biology.memphis.edu and click on the Biotech webpage. You can also put in a help desk request at umhelpdesk.memphis.edu.